What's up, guys? I want to show you how to build a version of UserGems essentially for free in Clay. UserGems is a very popular and powerful software that helps you track champions from some of your best customers when they change jobs, for example, or maybe they join a new target account. You can track those people where they go and automatically reach out to them to try and start a new conversation, because if they were a great buyer before, they'll probably be a great buyer again. This software is, I think, tens of thousands of dollars and annual contracts. It's not cheap. It is valuable, and while UserGems does probably have a lot more bells and whistles and is probably better fit for a larger enterprise, what I'm going to show you is definitely the best back of the napkin way. You can build it essentially for free or almost free with Clay, and I use this on Sendoso, and Sendoso is able to generate a ton of opportunities. You can see here, these three sequences came out of this table. 8%, 11%, or almost 12%, and 6% response rates. And these campaigns generated like tons of opportunities. In fact, one deal closed within, I think, a week or two of launching these campaigns. So how do you build this back in Clay? And why is this so powerful? Well, I'm going to show you an example that we sent, an example email that we sent with this campaign when someone went to a new company. This is somebody who was in the pipeline or was at a customer account for Sendoso. This person went to a new company. So I identified that they went to a new company and that their new company was a qualified account. And I reached out to them with the following email. Hey, Brian, you met with my colleague, Grayson Toshi. This is the AE name here at Sendoso around 16 months ago because I did that on purpose to make it look more human. Attentional, the company name, was exploring tools to augment their SDR team and boost prospecting with Sendoso. This came from the deal notes of the opportunity in Salesforce, and I normalized it with ChatGPT. Looks like you've moved since then to Noonlight, the new company. I'd love to get Sendoso back on the radar as a ton has changed. Open to reconnecting. Cheers. P.S. If you're open to learning more about Sendoso, happy to send over some wine or cookies as a little cheers. So essentially, we got a report of all of their old accounts and all the people who were in, let's say, pipeline, who were moving through pipeline at some point, and then let's say the deal stopped. And I wanted to reach back out to them to reactivate. So what did I do? I ran a check at first to see, is this person still working at the old company, or have they moved on to a new company? So if they moved on to a new company, I reached out to them at their new company. If they were still at their old company, I reached out to them at their old company. And also, if they had moved on to a new company, I also reached out to somebody else at the old company. So if they were still there, it was easy. You just ping them. If they had moved on somewhere else, we reached out to the old contact at the new company, and we reached out to a new contact at the old company. So it's kind of confusing, but let's say John's the head of marketing at company A, and John moves to company B, and then Jill joins company A as the new head of marketing. So I emailed John at company B and Jill at company A with slightly different messages, but this is the email that went out to the people at the new company, and this is the type of email that you would probably send if you were using a tool like UserGems. But the cool thing here is that I just took a Salesforce report, right? And then I checked to see where they were working in one go. And I was even able to use things like the account executive name, how long ago the deal closed or was closed lost, and the context around the deal, what were they interested in, and the new company where he's currently working. All of those personalization data points were added to this email, and it looks entirely handwritten, even though it was fully automated. And now that I have this table set up, it's very easy for me to just repeat this over and over and over again. And I want to show you how to do it yourself in Clay. So let's dive into the table, and I'll show you how we built this. Here's the data we were given from the Salesforce export: the accept and reject date, the account name, the account executive who's working the deal, the primary contact title and the opportunity, their primary contact's full name, their email at the time, any call notes from the opportunity, which was in a very unstructured format. We could not just take this and drop it into a cold email without doing something to it with ChatGPT. And I then took that information and I turned it into a calculation of how long ago the deal closed, and I made this normalized months ago output. This is for the email. If you remember, I said around 60 months ago. So I used Clay to calculate how many months have passed since the conversation took place and made it look normal. Instead of just injecting this date, I was able to inject this, which is way more personalized and looked like I wrote it by hand. And without Clay, I would have had to calculate each one manually, right? More or less. Maybe you could do something cool with Google Sheets, but you can see how this makes things a lot easier. And I took that information And I wanted to first figure out, okay, is this person still working at the old company or not? And if they moved on, where do they move to? And what do I want to say to them? So how did I do that? The first thing I did is I took I basically enriched all of the LinkedIn profiles, uh, all the LinkedIn URLs with the find the enriched person enrichment. So essentially, what you do is you just pass in the person's full name, their title, and their company name. Mind you, we did not actually have a LinkedIn URL at this point in the report. All we had was a text field that contained the prospect's name and their job title and their company at the time. So all I did was I used the find and enrich person from Google search Clay Enrichment, and I passed in their full name, their title, and their company name plus LinkedIn. And this basically searches Google, finds the right person's LinkedIn profile, and then pulls out their entire LinkedIn profile with all the LinkedIn data. So you can see Brad Miller, I found all of his LinkedIn information here. Now, how do we check to see if he is still working at his current company or if he moved on to a new company? So very good question. So one of the fields you can grab from the LinkedIn enrichment is the latest company or latest experience right here. And I can actually grab his latest experience company is this URL. It's 10up. It's basically his current job is where he's working. It's his company. And what else do I have? We have a list of the emails of the people, right? I have a list of the emails of the people. Ooh, hold on. All of their emails at the time are right here. So what I did was I essentially used a formula and I pulled out their domain. So how did I do that? So what I did was the following. I created a formula column right here, formula, and I said use AI, and I said pull out the text after at from primary contact email. So this essentially will pull out all of the text after their name in the email, and I'm left with a list of websites. So why did I want that list of websites? I'll show you why. So I went to a different table, and I went ahead and I essentially took all those websites, and sometimes I had multiple people from the same company, so I had multiple companies here. So I went ahead and I deduplicated this list. And once I had a list of individual company websites, I used the enrich company enrichment here, and I grabbed the current company, I grabbed the company LinkedIn URL where they were working at the time when they met with us. So all of these websites are from the emails we had in the CRM. So this is a list of companies from our CRM where this person used to work. And I took that website and I enriched it with company LinkedIn data, and I pulled out that company's LinkedIn URL here. So why did I do that? So then what I did is I compared where did this person currently works, their latest company URL, to the place where they worked when they met with us, and I wanted to see if they were equal. And if the URLs were equal, it meant that they are still working at the same company. And if the URLs were not equal, it meant that they moved on. So for example, here, this person is currently working at Charter Communications. And if I open up her LinkedIn profile, we can see that's accurate. And if I look at where she was working before, she was working somewhere else. She was working at 2020 Plumbing and Heating. And so because these are different, I know that this person works somewhere else, and I can create a list of people that have moved jobs from this false value in the comparison. So I've created a new filter view of all the people who are moved on to a new company. All of these people are people that we used to be speaking with in some sort of a sales cycle that have left that old company and have since moved on to a new company. So we have their LinkedIn data, all their LinkedIn information here, and their new primary title where they're working, the department where they're working. I don't know why I stuttered so much there. The pre-call notes from the old sales cycle, and if possible, we have these CRM notes are pretty rough. Some of them are very sparse. Some of them are just like it's very inconsistent, right? I mean, just someone taking random notes in the CRM. So to pass this data into GPT as the prompt for the context output, like where we insert the context of the conversation to the cold email, I think the results will be a pretty wide variance. And so in order to solve that, I first taken the input, and if it passes a certain set of criteria that it's actually good enough input, I run it through the pre-call summary prompt. So I basically train the AI and tell that it's a sales rep at Sendoso, and I give it sort of a value prop training. You're reaching out to prospects that have met with your company at some point in the last 2 years. Before you reach out, you're reading through your CRM to figure out the context of the conversation to inform your outreach message better, so you can reference the context in your email. You'll be given the pre-call notes and the prospect's job title as inputs. Generally, the pre-call notes will discuss things like if the company has done gifting in the past, what were the company's desired outcomes with the gifting platform, are they currently using a CRM or marketing automation platform or sales engagement platform, and if so, which ones, what type of gifts they want to send, is this a one-time strategy or an ongoing strategy, what prompted their interest initially, what challenge they wanted to solve, which teams will be using the platform, etc. Consider all of these factors as you process the input text. Here's the input. And I go ahead and give it the primary contact title and the pre-call notes as well. And I tell it to basically summarize the pre-call notes into a paragraph and include the above factors. So what it ends up doing is it basically creates this sort of more standardized summary paragraph of what the conversation was about, right? So it's based on more of it's more of a standard input. And then I pass this input, this paragraph summary into this prompt, which I use to generate the opening line. So it's very similar to the last prompt, but I'm giving it a summary instead, and I'm telling it some more specific output rules. I want it to always use my prefix, right? Always use my prefix. Because company name was exploring, then fill in the reason why they wanted to chat. Keep the total output under 15 words. Be as specific as possible when referencing the reasons why the prospect or company met with us in the past. If a specific reason is not given, do your best to summarize why someone with their job title would be interested in Sendoso. Do not respond with quotation marks or any punctuation, and output should be a lowercase unless you're mentioning a proper noun like Sendoso and the company name. So essentially, this is taking their CRM notes and it's saying, because Cordy was exploring ways to increase customer happiness in direct mail and gifting. Because Cordy USA was exploring automating mailing processes and using direct mail as a campaign triggers. Because Corsica was exploring Reach Desk and considering Tendoso for enhancing marketing efforts, right? So these are all like sharing the exact context behind the conversation in the first place in the opening line of the cold email, right? Then we pull in the opportunity owner, the AE's full name, whether or not they're still there, right? We confirm that. The new company name right here. We find their new email over here with waterfall data providers. We verify their email, and we calculate the time since that has passed since they last spoke. And then we get that really cool output where we're actually able to say, hey, you spoke with the salesperson about 7 months ago while you were at your old company about this topic, and I see you moved on to this new company. I'm curious if we get some time back on the calendar to chat again and show you what's new, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the play. That's how we did it. It's really, really cool with Clay. And this campaign rocked it. We got, I think, 10% response rates, lots of meetings booked. And you can run this on a regular basis, right? And again, it's not as automated or as clean as UserGems, right? And there's probably a lot of other UserGems and features that you get when you buy UserGems. I'm not trying to say this is going to replace UserGems. I'm just saying that this is a really good back at the napkin way to do it with Clay and to just kind of build a custom specific version of UserGems for your specific use case without buying a huge contract. So I think relative to the price you're paying for this, it's quite valuable, especially when you stack this on all the other things you can do with Clay. And that's what we do for Sendoso. We just keep adding more and more and more plays all the time. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. And if you want me to do this for you, check out sculpted.agency. We are a done-for-you Clay consulting service. You hire us and we handle everything from just building tables if you want us to, or all the way up to like coming up with campaigns and building them out for you and running it all for you. And you can just order as many as you want. It's super easy. And yeah, hope to work with you sometime soon. Okay, take it easy. Bye.